What's up, AZ Haunters? For the last 5 years, we have been running an interactive display that is really centered around getting people involved and giving them the chance to interact with the haunt rather than just straight up look at it. Alright. Now, this is pretty well known through our community, but I think what sets this prop apart, it's something that passerbys can activate via this comically large red button that is lit when it's ready to be active, goes dark while it's moving, and then is lit again once it's ready to start again. One thing I love about Halloween is that I'm pushed out of my comfort zone and I get an opportunity to learn something new. In this case, I started working with electronics, figuring out how to wire this thing. I made a control box with a whole bunch of lit switches, including this mode select that switches the prop between button activated mode or always digging. That is, air quotes, neatly hid underneath a custom base that I put together. I wanted it to look like this guy's digging his buddies up out of the ground. And the hardest part was getting it to match the color of Arizona dirt. And after about 3 paint jobs, I decided just to spray the whole thing in adhesive glue and cover it in real Arizona dirt. I think this makes it look pretty good during the daytime, as well as something that stands out at night with proper lighting. We've got a total of 4 interactivity points, all of which can be activated via buttons on our graveyard fence. It's a tribute to our old cat Jasper. And we added a couple of dogs chasing a skeleton up a tree this year.
Oh, there we go. And the other one barks too. Wow.
We've also got this motion-activated 7-foot-tall Grim Reaper guy, and while we do have some store-bought props, we really try to customize as much as we can. Nothing leaves the shelf and goes straight into the yard. This was one of those things I just put together at the last minute this year. I had an extra reindeer motor. We found these mini skeletons and just kind of got creative. How can we make these things move? The dive into electronics and generally has just kind of sparked the aspiration of constantly keep things moving. But really, I like to keep things as homemade as possible, including this community classic, the Cauldron Creep. This was my first prop I made a few years ago and is arguably the centerpiece of the display part of our haunt.
I love that guy.
We've been running this display for 5 years, but this year was the first time we tried a walkthrough. I'll give you a quick mashup of the experience and then we'll take a longer tour. This wasn't a very big walkthrough, so we focused a lot of our energy on creating the experience surrounding the narrative of biotechnology gone too far. People would come in to this entryway, we'd give them a little spiel about how we're creating biomechanical upgrades, we're looking for volunteers. We had these environmental video loops playing in this entryway. At a certain point, the audience would trigger a secondary emergency video loop that would set off a series of events.
Containment breach, Sector 4. All personnel evacuate immediately.
At this point, we'd rush them over and instruct them to flip this knife switch, which would activate a set of live wires and prompt our lab creatures to pop out and give them a big jump scare. Visitors then have to walk down this creepy long hallway where they're faced with the ultimate terror, the lab creeper, which is really just my mother in her homemade costume and makeup job. As I said, this was our first walkthrough, and it was just so excited to get the whole family involved. And my son and I really collaborated a lot to put together the costumes and customize props, customize accessories, really surrounding this theme of biotechnology gone too far. We were lucky enough to have my parents in town this year, and my dad really got involved in helping this walkthrough, made it possible. From instigating the creation of these cyborgs to hanging the walls for the walkthrough. This wouldn't have been possible without him, so huge thanks to Dad. So that's it. I gotta give a special shout out to everybody in my family, including my wife who tolerates this obsession. And thanks AZ Haunters. I love being part of this community. I love being inspired by all the creativity of the people in this community. And until next year, happy haunting.